These motherfuckers, geez, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, lying scoundrels. Is there any two greater villains in the history of the world in terms of their possible their power to have done something about climate change? Obama made America the #1 oil producing company.
I know we're an oil country, and we need American energy, and it went up every year I was president. That whole suddenly America's like the biggest oil producer and the biggest that was me, people. I just want you to. So, sometimes you go to Wall Street and folks will be grumbling about anti-business. I said, have you checked where your stocks were when I came in office and where they are now? What? Just say thank you, please.
Joe Biden has America as being the #1 like gas and oil. Like both of these dudes are just full gas on the pedal for destroying the environment on behalf of their corporate mother assholes. Well, you guys are going to kill yourselves and us. We're all going to die so that these pieces of shit can make their quarterly profit statements. But Biden's been catching shit for this tweet, this lie, scoundrel. On my watch, healthcare is a right in this country, not a privilege. I think he meant ice cream. Ice cream is a right. And then here is a quote. This must be him. All Americans. Oh yeah, it is. It's because it's got the quote in the circles. That's how you know it's a real important person when they don't have the closing quotation. All Americans deserve the peace of mind that if an illness strikes or an accident occurs, you can get the care that you need. President Biden. Alt. So, nope. Nobody has peace of mind about their health care in this country. We all die early. We suffer. We wait till it gets bad. We stress about the money. We grow up watching our parents stress out about money. We're neglected as children because our parents we don't have a culture where we go to the doctor because we need to. Even in an imperfect national healthcare system would be far better than the one we have. Peace of mind? F*** you. There's no peace of mind with healthcare. We're fed to the demons in this country. So this tweet was March 23rd, 2024. Just a complete bullshit lie. If an illness strikes or an accident occurs, you can get the care you need. That's not true. You have to then... What happens... Okay, let's just look at the next one. Then there was this one, dated March 27th, 2024. So they're back at it. They're back at this sclerotic, Botoxed up, fucking mannequin head, wax doll mummy motherfucker who's going to usher in Trumpian fascism because he's too much of an ego psycho to keep running for president when he shouldn't be. It's disgusting. Anyway, here's his tweet. POV. You believe healthcare should be a right, not a privilege in America. First of all, people are correcting the idea because the camera POV would be that the you in this would be actually be the camera. In other words, the viewer, the observer. So yes, I believe healthcare should be right. And these two don't. They certainly don't. They take money from healthcare companies. They are corrupt. They take money from the demons who feed upon your corpse. Then you'll recall, this one has been going around. This is from a tweet account called The Burn Identity. Good pun. Good pun. I've heard better. I've heard worse. Above the 50% mark. You're welcome. POV. That time, Joe Biden said that even if Medicare for All by some miracle passed the House and Senate, he's skeptical and would veto based on assumption it would delay health care, which it would not, and has consequences. Okay, so he has issues with the thing where he would be able to go see a doctor.
Let's assume, and I've asked other candidates this kind of question, veto question. Let's flash forward. Your president, Bernie Sanders, is still active in the Senate. He manages to get Medicare for All through the Senate in some compromised version, the Elizabeth Warren version or other version. Nancy Pelosi gets a version of it through the House of Representatives. It comes to your desk. Do you veto it?
I would veto anything that delays providing the security and the certainty of health care being available now. If they got that through and by some miracle, there was an epiphany that occurred, and some miracle occurred that said, okay, it's passed, then you got to look at the cost. I want to know, how did they find the $35 trillion? What is that doing?
Because it's less than the $37 trillion we spend? I know there was some study that showed it was like, I don't know the right number, but it was less. Like it was like a think tank, kind of like an establishment sort of foundation thing, that healthcare, Medicare for All would be less. It was somewhat close, but it was less. So he's going, oh, well, we can't delay it. It would be irresponsible to do health Medicare for all. Just be fucking honest, Joe Biden. Say it's because you're protecting the profits of your corporate buddies because of these. This is the most vampiric industry. It's fucking sick that we do this to our own people. And it's all on behest of the bosses who prefer to maintain the system where you have to have a job to get the access to the profit-making possibility that an insurance company will allow you to see a doctor in exchange for the money that you give them. And then if you lose that job, you lose your health care. Or like when I got fired from TUIT, they offered me Cobra. You could use this as Cobra. Here's your Cobra paperwork. It's like $900. Like, yeah, okay, now that I have no income, I was already under fucking paid to start with. But now that I have no income, I get to spend money I don't have, way more than I... Give me a fucking break, man.
Significantly raise taxes on the middle class, which it will. What's going to happen? Look,
the health insurance premiums are a private tax, you fuck. That's the boogeyman. That's the thing. Oh, you don't want your taxes to go up, do you? You don't want to. Oh, you don't want to spend more money, do you? You don't want to have to actually get something for the money you spend, do you? Meanwhile, the money you're currently forking over to these for-profit institutions, these for-profit vampire companies, is only for their Wall Street gains, only so they can send out dividend checks and do stock buybacks. It's for their executive compensation packages and their big bonuses. You don't want to have to stop funding that, do you?
Position isn't.
Your taxes might go up. Well, you get to stop paying the private fucking taxes. And we would all be so much safer when everybody's safer if we do checkups. I have this thing on my face right here that I think is cancer because I'm a little worried. But I'm hoping it goes away. That's my plan. My plan isn't to go, oh my God, I should go have it checked out. It's, well, let's just hope it goes away. I'm not even talking about the ones on my nose that I'm certain is cancer. I'm talking about this new one. Maybe I just bumped it on something. Maybe I do sleep fighting.
To the principle that you should have Medicare. I mean, everybody, healthcare should be a right in America. My opposition relates to whether or not, A, it's doable, two, what the cost is, and what the consequences for the rest of the budget are.
It's doable, it's less, and it's less. That's the fucking answer. And it would cement Democratic power. A major gain, like some kind of universal healthcare system, would be a political winner for decades. For decades. And they still refuse. These people are psychos, man.
How are you going to find $35 trillion over the next 10 years without having profound impacts on everything from taxes for middle class and working class people, as well as the impact on the rest of the budget? Because
we're not giving it to private companies anymore. I mean, I know, like, he knows he's lying. He knows he's full of shit. He knows they do this in other countries. He's a lying scumbag. So there's Joe Biden, and this, of course, is the person who tweeted out, you believe healthcare should be a right, not a privilege. There's this. Here from when people asked Joe, Mr. Healthcare, about all the women and children he's been murdering in his genocide in Gaza.
My coverage. Everybody deserves health care.
So I saw a different view of this where you could see the people screaming and stuff. But they're going, what about the people in Gaza? Yeah. Now, one thing I remembered, though, which I haven't seen anybody point out, not that I'm checking everything, but on the internet here, there was a time, this is back to 2016, around the end of the Obama era. Newsflash, NBC News. Let's just listen to Lester Holt.
Right behind President Obama tonight, as always, will be the vice president. Today, Joe Biden spoke exclusively with our Savannah Guthrie about the loss of his son, Beau.
Mr. Vice President.
A heartbeat from the president, but with his heart still heavy from the loss last year of his son, Beau.
And I think people are wondering, how are you doing?
We're doing well. We're focusing on the inspiration that Beau was rather than the loss.
As his son ailed, Biden says he confided fears Beau may become too sick to support his family, only with the president.
I said, but Jill and I will sell the house. We'll be in good shape. When he got up, he said, don't sell that house. Promise me you won't sell the house. He's going to be mad at me saying this. He said, I'll give you the money.
Tell me how your relationship with President Obama has evolved.
So, you know, he's talking about Obama saying that Obama offered to give him money for Beau's medical care and his son. This is the president and the vice president of the United States, of the world's wealthiest country. If we're to accept any of this as being true, it seems weird that they would like make it up whole cloth, but that Biden had. I know he's not one of the wealthier. He's low on the list of the wealthy politicians, the senators over his time, but that this guy was even considering having to sell his house because of the costs of his dying son, who's a veteran, and that the president of the United States, his boss, because he's the vice president, told him not to sell the house, and that if you need, I'll give you the money. And how does that not, like, let's just take that's what happened. How is that not radicalizing to a person? You're the second guy in command, the heartbeat away from the White House, for moving into the capitalist ovary, which we call the ovary office. And you have to consider selling off assets to pay for your son's health care. And you're not thinking to yourself, well, if this is affecting me, God, this must be really tough for
over these years.
It's family, and he's become family. And I think probably there's been no vice president or president on a personal basis closer than he and I have been.
He was too old back then, man.
With a year left in office, Joe Biden sizes up a presidential field he's no longer part of, calling Hillary Clinton rather new to a key progressive issue propelling Bernie Sanders, income inequality.
What I meant was, for the last 5 years, she's been engaged in foreign policy. She is coming up with some very good ideas, but Bernie is pushing the envelope.
And as for Donald Trump,
Do you think he could be elected? Is it possible?
Yes.
You've said he's been very divisive.
Oh, I think he is divisive. I mean, I think he'd have to acknowledge he's very divisive, and that's not healthy. We always do best when we act as one America.
But Joe Biden says...
There's one America. So yeah, Joe Biden, here's a Guardian article. Joe Biden, Obama offered money to help support my ailing son's family. The vice president revealed that Obama offered financial assistance when Biden planned to sell his house to support his son, Beau, who died of brain cancer in May. Vice President Joe Biden said he considered selling his home to help support his dying son's family, prompting President Barack Obama to offer him financial support. Obama offered to help Biden, who earns $230,000 annually, during one of their weekly lunches. The vice president said in an interview with CNN published on Tuesday, Beau Biden considered resigning from his post as Delaware Attorney General because of medical concerns. He suffered from a mild stroke in 2010 and was found to have brain cancer in August 2013 while serving his second term as Attorney General. Biden said he and his wife Jill, a community college professor, thought about selling their house to help support Beau's family if he resigned because there was nothing for him to fall back on, no salary. Look at this country, man. Look at this evil fucking country. You get a stroke, you got cancer, and you can't work, and your parents have to sell their house to get money to help support. Like, look how little we care for each other. Disabled people are cast aside in this fucking society. It is absolutely horrendous how immoral and unethical and just I glitch out just thinking about it. Just how fucking the stress and the strain that we make people jump through just to get to what little bit of help there might be. And these guys are the most powerful people on the planet. And he's talking about maybe selling his house because of medical costs. Meanwhile, he's coming up on Twitter as president. Now we fast forward 8 years to this lying scoundrel saying healthcare is a right in this country, not a privilege. That's never been true. It's not true now.